In this video, we're going to be using the Presto Precise digital pressure canner to make my favorite ever jam, ginger loquat jam. We're going to go through all the steps on making the jam, canning it up, and all the steps how to use the Presto Precise digital pressure canner for this project. Hello and welcome to Bowtie Life, where we talk mostly about life in the garden. Obviously not today, because we are in the kitchen and it has been a while. So I have been doing so much in the garden. I've been needing to get some processing done. Our freezer is full, absolutely full of frozen stuff that needs to get processed right now, and I just need to get on it. So today we are going to make those, as I've already said in the beginning, those jars of ginger loquat jam. I actually have 8 cups of the ginger loquat jam thawing. In fact, if I go like this, it comes out. There we go. It says that's 2 cups of loquats. Now these are processed through a tomato processor, so they're a mash. The seeds, skins, and stems have been removed from these, so I've had to adapt a little bit. Now this is the same recipe that I used a few years, last year, because I am literally on the last smear of ginger loquat jam from last year. I love this stuff. Oh my goodness, it is so good. We used, and here's the recipe. Oh, you know what? Be sure to subscribe to Bowtie Life on YouTube. I'm getting ahead of myself. If you have not done so already, so you don't miss a thing, subscribing does not cost a thing. You just hit that subscribe button below, and videos come out on YouTube first, so you'll be notified of those. To those of you who have subscribed to Bowtie Life, you are my heroes. I thank you very much, because you've helped make Bowtie Life what it is today. Hi, I'm Bowtie Dave. Okay, so back to what I was saying before I got distracted before the intro. I got to get that intro out of the way. I got to remember. Anyway, so the recipe that we're going to be using today, I will be using 8 cups of this Loquat Mash. Now this has been processed through the food processor. Here's a little video of us doing it. This is a food processor I bought off of Amazon like a year and a half ago, and it's still going. I did have to replace one of the gaskets on it, but it still works, and it still does our tomatoes. I use it for the loquats. I use it for something else too, but right off the top of my head, I can't remember. So this is ice on here, so you can tell I just pulled these out. This is, I've got 4 of these sitting out over here on the cutting board. This is the loquats, the 90 pounds of loquats that we harvested, what, a month and a half ago, and they've been in the freezer. We've already used some of it for a crumble, a loquat crumble, and we are planning on using a lot of it for this. I'm using 8 cups right now, and if I can get through this in time, I might try a second batch before we have an event tonight. It's Wednesday, the 22nd of May, 2024. Of course, the time is unimportant. This is the recipe that we're trying to get moving and get going on today. So we'll have to see how far we can get. Okay, so I've made strawberry jam, I've made blueberry jam, I've made strawberry loquat jam, I've made just plain loquat jam, I've made peach jam, and I've made ginger loquat jam. And let me tell you something, by far the ginger loquat is my favorite. Now, as far as what is a loquat, and I know a lot of people ask this is a very normal question. A loquat, well, here's some pictures of the harvest, and you can see what they look like in this picture. They're very small, they're only about so big, and they have a kind of a skin on it, kind of like a peach does, and they have seeds in them, that real smooth seeds, that anywhere between 1 and 6 seeds in the middle, and the more seeds there are, the less flesh it has, but that flesh is what we're looking for. Now, some people actually use the skins and the flesh for jams and so forth. I am just using the flesh inside and the meat of the fruit. And as far as the taste, it kind of has the texture of a peach. It tastes a lot like a peach. It is really good. What's another name for it? Asian plum, I think? I can't remember. We're going to go through here and I'm going to start processing some of this this mash that we have here. And we have, like I said, we have 3 whole gallons. That's 48 cups of this stuff sitting out in the fridge. Well, not anymore. We have 44 cups. Now we have 8 out here. So we have 36 more cups sitting out in the freezer waiting for us to use it. So we had 3 full gallons of this mash, and I separated it out into these 2-cup bags so we could use it for recipes like this after it's frozen. And hopefully we'll be out of it here pretty soon because our freezer is really full. It's kind of been a challenge. Okay, so as we're going through this, be sure and ask questions or share your experiences in the comments on this video. I love hearing from y'all, and if you've done this before or you've done something similar, or if you have any questions, do comment below on this video, and I do watch those comments. I respond to them myself. It's most likely me answering them, and I love hearing from y'all, so be sure to holler. So we're going to start getting some stuff together. I don't know if you can hear the dishwasher going. I've got 25 half-pint jars in there with lids, sanitizing on the high level on the dishwasher. It's kind of quiet there, so it's not too disturbing, but that's how we sanitize our jars. And I've got me a big pot here. This is a Lodge pot. It's got a porcelain baked inside here, and it's non-reactive. They always make sure you're using a non-reactive pot to do your jams in. This is not just Loquat, this is any jam, because if you use like an aluminum pot, you can really mess up because it actually starts changing the flavor of your product, and we don't want to do that. But this is Mrs. Bowtie's favorite little Lodge pot that we have. And so anyway, we're going to start with this, and while this is cooking, I'm going to start pulling out the canners. We are going to use the Presto Precise Digital Pressure Canner to water bath can these, and we can only do up to, I think it's 7 jars at a time, so of these half-pint jars, and which is what we'll do. I'll max it out, and I may pull out the other canner to supplement it, but the big thing is the Presto Precise Digital Pressure Canner. I like it. It kind of walks you through it and kind of makes things easy. So without further ado, I think that, so did I say the recipe? 8 cups of this, a full tablespoon of ground ginger, and we have dried ginger, which we grind up in a coffee grinder, and that's our ground ginger. And we have vanilla, and we have lemon juice. Yeah, lemon juice. I got lemon juice. So yeah, we're getting ready to try to get some more stuff. Like I said, I have 1 schmear of this stuff left, and it is so good. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, here we go. So I am building off of a combination of recipes. I didn't find anything exactly like this the last time, and yes, I did this once before. Hopefully I'll have a little better instructions in here. I've got 8 cups of the Loquat, what I'm calling Loquat Mash. I'm adding in 4 tablespoons of lemon juice to go with that, and we're going to bring that to a boil. Not to a boil, we're going to, see, I'm sitting here trying to remember how to do this, and I'm being very confused. Over low heat and bring to a boil. Yes, bring to a boil. Oh, lordy day. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting day, isn't it? Mrs. Bowtie isn't here to supervise either. So while the combination of Loquat Mash and lemon juice are getting warmed up, I have pulled out the Presto Precise Digital Pressure Canner, and we are setting it up on the counter over here. I have filled with some water in here, and I will start putting jars in here. Now we are water bath canning, so we want the water level to be over the tops of the jars. So it's not the little bit of water that you put in for pressure canning, it's water to cover the jars. And you probably saw over there, we have got some garlic over there we've just harvested. It's kind of getting ready to go into freezer. But anyway, so yeah, we're getting this thing out ready to go, and it is it's time to get those jars that are sanitizing in the dishwasher right there. You can see it through there, and we're going to fill them with water and stick them in there and start the warming process. Let me just show you how this works here. It's very simple. In fact, one of our most popular videos that we have is on this thing, the first time I ever used it. But when you first power it up, right there you see it says pressure can, and you use the little turn knob. Go over to water bath can, or boiling water can, same thing, another term for the same thing. You hit the button and you see it beep. Well, now it's the processing time. This stuff has to process for 10 minutes. Looked at the instructions, and now it says insert jars, and it's going to warm the jars for me. So I've got 7 jars here filled with tap water, and they are going to go into here, and ultimately we're going to be burying the jars, covering them in water. Okay, so I'm wrong about the number here. I knew there was more than that. So yeah, this is what ADD does for you. It was 10 jars. I got another 3 jars, stuck them in here. We got 10 jars in here. I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid on. The lid is very easy. It says install, you line that up with the little mark there, turn it. We're not using this because we're not doing pressure canning. Close the lid, turn it. That's it, folks. Now, we are ready for warming the jars. Cool thing about this is really neat. I can let this sit here and warm those jars. I'm gonna go back into our kitchen, which is a little small, which is why we're out here for this, but I'm gonna go back in there and do the processing on that Loquat Mash, and it's gonna take a while, but that's okay, because what's gonna happen here is this thing will warm the jars, and it will get them to the right temperature, and it will keep them there until I'm ready to come back here. So we're ready to go back in yonder and do the other stuff. So right now, this mix is kind of thin, okay? That's what happens with the Loquat Mash. It's kind of thin. And that's okay, because we're gonna be thickening this up, number 1, with some pectin, and I'm just using the Sure Gel pectin. Nothing special here, folks. I'm just getting the stuff I can get at Walmart right now. I know there's better stuff out there. Please don't lecture me. It's just where I'm at right now. So I will be using the pectin. We have over here, like I already said, we have the 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract, which incidentally, I'm only doing 1 batch today because I don't have any more vanilla extract. We have 1 tablespoon of ground ginger. Oh, good stuff. I love ginger. And then we have 4.5 cups of sugar that we're going to be pouring in here as soon as we get this thing boiling. Because we're going to put everything except for the ginger and vanilla in here to start processing. And this is going to get thicker. That pectin is going to start thickening this thing up. It's going to have the sugar in it. Some of the juices are going to start boiling away, and this thing will look a lot better. We're going to do a little bit of a test to make sure it looks about the right thickness, and I'll show you that. I don't remember if I showed it in the previous video, but I'm going to try to remember to show it today. So everything is melted now, and it's starting to heat up nicely. Now, the order of the next few things that are going to happen, you really have to make up your own mind. I looked at several different recipes. Full disclosure, I saw completely different instructions for the exact same process. Some said put the pectin and sugar in before, some said put it in after, some said I'm a little confused, but I'm going to just do it the way I think that I did it last time, and that is as soon as this thing gets hot to a boil, put in the sugar and the pectin, because remember I've already put the lemon juice in, the sugar, 4.5 cup sugar, the package of pectin, and after we've done 30 to 40 minutes of boiling and constantly stirring, so I'm going to be involved here for a little bit, but after we get that process. Then near the end, I put in the vanilla and the ginger. We bring it back up to a boil for a minute or so, and then we will be ready to start putting it in the jars. So, yeah, this is a little bit of a process here. What do they say? A watch pot never boils. Boy, do I know that feeling. This is where it's real nice to have Mrs. Bowtie, because she is way better in the kitchen than I am. But we'll figure this out. Okay, so timing just perfect. Our jars are warmed. I don't know quite where to put the heat on here. I had it medium and I had it a little high, and I don't know. I'm just a little confused on the heat, which is where Ms. Bowtie comes in. But worst comes to worst, you know, it just goes a little too fast. However, okay, so this thing is getting ready to start boiling as much as it can on a medium low heat. And we're going to be putting in the sugar, and we'll be increasing the heat to a medium high heat. Now, when we do that, we need to start stirring, and it's going to be me stirring until everything is together and it stops doing all the broiling and bubbling. We'll also be putting in the pectin here, and the first few minutes are kind of important in stirring it. You also, after those first few minutes, for the next, this thing's going to be, now last time it took 36 minutes, and I'm suspecting it's going to be about the same, but it took 36 minutes, and during that time, you need to stick around here and stir that every once in a while, kind of like I've been doing so far. Keep that thing moving so it doesn't burn on the bottom, basically, and you want to just keep it moving. So you can see that it's starting to boil a little bit. And as I do this, I can actually feel a little bit on the bottom that needs to be circulated, which is normal. So I don't need that hot water quite yet. That's going to be for when I sanitize the lids, when we're over there putting this stuff in the jars. But we are getting close. Okay, so this thing I would call simmering. That's what I would call it. It is on a medium heat. It's about as much as it seems like it's going to do at this point. I'm going to go ahead and be putting in the sugar and the pectin, and then we'll be turning it up. Mine goes from 1 to 9. Every stove is different. I know that's annoying to me, but mine goes from 1 to 9. It's on a 5 right now, which is like right in the middle. And I'm going to put in this, stirring it in as I go, kind of fast here. You can see better like this. In the past, I've done this to where it was just a big pile, and I think it might be better to do it like this, where I get it stirred in as I go. And I am kind of stirring vigorously, but let me go ahead and turn up the heat there to what's that, 7.5? Let me go ahead and 6.5 going up to 7. And now the pectin. And this is one of the things I saw to add in the sugar after, I don't know. There's so many different ways I've seen it said, and it all confuses me. I'm not a great chef. I'm not a chef of any kind. I make ramen noodles and pizzas on tortillas, and I microwave my scrambled fluffy eggs with hot sauce. I know, I'm a Neanderthal, right? Been doing that for a lot of years. So I'm stirring a little vigorously. I'm trying not to splash. I can already see it's kind of getting a little bit thicker because of all that stuff that's added. But you can see that now there are little white flecks of the pectin in there. that I'll be making sure to break up as we go. But there we go. Now comes the long haul. I got it on about 7.5 out of 9. This is the point where Mrs. Bowtie would tell me, no, you need to turn that up or turn it down or whatever, and I'm just doing it. You know what? This stuff's good no matter what, I think. I think it would be hard to mess the flavor of this up. Right now the sink is full of dishes because I had loaded the dishwasher this morning and I had to unload it to put the jars in. If I have to, I will pull out the other canner and do the rest of the jars. I don't think this will fit in 10 jars though, which makes me a little worried. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and pull out the other canner just in case. As soon as we're done with getting this boiling, I am going to do that. So right now we've got the 8 cups of Loquat Mash. We've got the couple tablespoons of the 4 tablespoons of the lemon juice. We thawed everything down. We put in the sugar and the pectin, and we will be putting in the vanilla and ginger after this is ready to go. I gotta tell you, if you like ginger and you're fond of peaches, this is such a delicious jam. Okay folks, so we are right at 30 minutes worth of processing time, sitting here boiling like this. I know it's going to fail, but I'm going to show you the set test for jam. I'm going to pull this off the heat for just a moment. It'll return to its heat pretty quickly, but we're going to return this to it. Pull this over here to the side. I have in the freezer some saucers and plates that we're going to be using for this test. Now, I've had them in the freezer for a while now, but you're going to take just a spoon of it and put it in the middle. We're going to let that sit there for 30 seconds, okay? Just sit in the middle. You can see the cold coming off there. So what's going to happen here is I am going to tilt the plate and see if it drips. I'm pretty sure it's going to. There's 3 methods of doing this. Number 1, you tilt the plate and you see if it drips. If it doesn't drip, then it sets. The second method that I've seen is to take and run your finger through it. If the path that your finger creates doesn't get filled back in, it's set. The third way is you run your finger through it. If it wrinkles, it's set. So it's been approximately 30 seconds, I think. I forgot to check the timer on here. But if I turn it up, you can see it does almost drip. That's actually better than I thought it would be. Oh, and look at that, it wrinkled. Wow, that might be... Oh my goodness. That might be really close. I'm going to put it back on for just a few more minutes. That is really close. This may actually process faster than the last time. I'm going to put it back on here for about 4 more minutes, 3 or 4 more minutes, and see if we can get just a little bit more set. I tell you what though, that's a pretty good set on there. I'm very pleased with that. And it did wrinkle. So, okay. At this point, we are literally moments away from the perfect set. So, like I said, I'm going to just stay here, let's say 3 more minutes. Well, now 2 more minutes. And we're going to continue stirring. And we're going to put in, I'm glad I remember this, I'm going to put in the vanilla and the ginger. the all-important ginger. And that is a couple tablespoons of vanilla, or 30 milliliters, and a tablespoon of the ginger, which comes out to 15 milliliters of ginger. Trying to get better with my metric measurements, because I know we have people from not just standard measuring countries I've had conversations with in the video comments. So yeah, and by the way, there will be a taste test of this, so be sure to subscribe to the channel, Bowtie Life on YouTube, to see that taste test. Good or bad, I will tell you what it is. I tell you what, from the taste of that right there, I am feeling very good about it. Lordy day. That is good stuff. So now we don't have the ginger in it, and I'm going to do the test here in about another minute. I got a stack of plates in the freezer, so I got another plate to test with. But you want a frozen plate to start with, and you just let it sit there for about 30 seconds. Oh, let me get that last little bit of vanilla on there because I hate waste. But I am feeling really good about this mix. My goodness. There we go. That's another 3.5 minutes, I believe. I'm going to go ahead and pull this off of here, because that's what the instructions say to do. And I'm going to grab another frozen plate out of the freezer. Just a plate in the freezer, that's it, folks. Got a little larger spoon this time so we can do a better test. I'm going to grab some of that. Oh. Put it on that plate like that. Let it sit there. So this time I'm looking at the counter on the camera, so I'll have the right 30 seconds. And we'll let this sit here for 30 seconds, just 30 seconds. This is testing the set of the jam to find out if it's going to set up once we get the canning done. So that's 20 seconds. And we'll tip this up. We'll run our finger through it. We'll tip it up. If it doesn't run, and when we tip it up, then we know it's set. And then we'll run our finger through it, see if it wrinkles or fills back in the path. 3 different ways to test the set of your jam. So that is 40 seconds actually. So we go like this. There's a little bit of a run there. And I run my finger through it. Okay. Oh my goodness. Got the ginger in there. I'm going to have to do it for a little longer. Oh my goodness, that is so good. Oh my goodness. I may have used too little on that first test. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this on here for another 5 minutes, and then we're going to call it done. Oh, that ginger in there is just amazing. I'm sorry, folks. This is I've always enjoyed jellies and jams and such, preserves and marmalades. This is the best I have ever had. I ate all the previous jars. Was it 10 or 12? I don't remember. I ate all the previous jars happily, and I'm making 2 batches of it. I'm going to get some more vanilla, and I will be making another batch of this before we're done with all this Loquat Mash that we've got going. Okay, folks, so we are at a total of 40 minutes of processing, which is the maximum amount that my instructions told me to do. Last time I did this, it took 36 minutes, but this time I'm going on this. I am going to do one more test on the set. Turn that off. Get me a frozen plate out of the freezer. Same type of spoon as the last test. I come in here. 10 seconds. 20 seconds. I've lost count, but that's about 30 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and wait just a few more seconds here, and then I'm going to tip it. Here we go. Oh my, look at that. If I go like this, oh, see all the wrinkles? And then I go all the way through it. The path doesn't quite fill in. So, I'm going to count that ready to jar. Yes, I licked the plate. Okay, so we've been through this process before together, but I'll go over it. I have here a bowl of white vinegar and a paper towel, which we will be wiping the rims. I'm going to remember to wipe the rims this time. I have here all the lids we're going to need for these jars, and this is boiling water. You saw it on the stove. I went ahead and popped it up, but it was actually right at boiling. So we will set this aside. I have here all my lids ready to go. I have a ladle. I have a jar lifter, folks. Use a jar lifter. It's a silly, stupid little tool. Get a jar. Make sure you have one, because once you start reaching inside this canner right here, it's hot, okay? The jars are warm. They're ready to fill the jars. So, here we go. Going to open this thing up. No, I already said this, no, we're not going to be using the pressure valve. You don't use that when you're doing boiled water canning or whatever the other name for this is. That's all I've got in my brain right now is boiled water canning. Water bath canning, that's what it is. Okay, so I'm going to start filling these, and I am going to, well, dump the water in here, I guess, because I didn't get another pot to dump into. I will have another pot here before we're done. And I will be leaving a 1/2 inch of headspace. Oh, another thing I have here is a funnel. This is a kind of a wide mouth funnel. It's built for filling these things. I do like the ladle rather than a large spoon, just because it scoops up almost a whole jar for me at one time. That's it. It's very convenient. We host a thing here. Try to host it once a month, and sometimes it doesn't happen, but we have a lot of serving utensils, and we keep them around and get to use them for other stuff, obviously. Yeah, that thing isn't going to last long, is it? So as you can see, I kind of worked through several of these jars. Got me another pot over here to empty the contents into. They're all sitting out here with about 1/2 inch of headspace at the top of each jar. I've seen 1/4 inch, I see 1/2 inch. After some of the failures I've had, I'm going to probably go with the higher estimation in the future. It looks like we're going to fit everything in this one canner, though I can hear the other canner getting warm enough. But I've still got 2 jars left in here, and I don't have enough for them. So I'm feeling real good about this. I'm not even sure I'll be able to completely fill this last jar. Let's see what we can do. So yes, these jars are hot. They've come out of boiling water. So this one that doesn't fill will be the first one I use, which will get used pretty soon, I guarantee. But that's it. And push the last of this in here. It is setting up too. It really is. So I think we were pretty accurate on our test. So now that I've got all the jars filled that I'm going to fill, because that's as big as my batch is. Okay, see, I'm doing that without the funnel. Don't do that. There we go. Okay. All right, 9 bottles, pretty good. Now, the next thing is we're going to be putting these lids on, but first we're going to take our distilled white vinegar. And now some people say just use water. I've seen people do it both ways, and personally, this just speaks to me a little better. You want to wipe down the rims of all these. Now, I know I didn't drip any of that Loquat stuff on any of that, but I'm standing over it, my sweat, no, there's not any sweat dripping on me today, but I'm here, I'm talking, there is stuff in the air. We just want to make sure that these rims are clean, because those little rubber seals on those lids need to make good, solid contact. Yes, that's hot, but I'm a handyman. I'm used to hot. Not really. Woo, that is a little hot. I dropped my little magnet. I have got to get one of those silly sticks with the magnet on the end to do this with. I know. So we are using a new lid today that I haven't used. Normally I use the ball lids. I inherited some unopened boxes of another kind of lid, which I know are new because the person told me they are, and I trust that person tremendously. So, you'll notice there's 2 types of lids here. Gonna find out if this other brand works. And now we put on our lids. Okay, folks, done this before, and I'll say it again. Tightening these lids. You don't yoink these lids all the way down, okay? You put them on, let it go under its own speed, and then turn it 1/8 of a turn. You can't turn it but about 1/3 of a turn. You turn it 1/4 of a turn, you're really turning it hard. It's really about 1/8 of a turn. I hear people say, oh, turn it 1/4 turn. Try turning it 1/4 turn. See how far a 1/4 turn actually gets you. It doesn't get you very far. Trust me. It's about 1/8 of a turn. Now, some of you, I know the wife may prefer to be the one to do those because you guys kind of yoink them down way too hard. Don't do that, folks. This is not a man thing. You're trying to get a good seal on these things. What that means is you're going to be boiling out some of the air and gases out of these jars. If you yoink that all the way down, it can't do that, and it's not going to make a good seal. It becomes a vacuum seal in there, so it vacuums out some of those gases. It's good enough to get you a good seal. You don't yoink these down all the way. See, I do it under its own weight, 1/8 of a turn, every single one of them. 1/8 of a turn. Okay, so now I've got a little under 1 inch over the jar lids. It needs to be a little over 1 inch. They say 1 to 2 inches. So that's where this pot comes in. You've never seen me do this before, I don't think. And yes, it's hot. I'm putting that water back in there to top it off. Make sure that the water is 1 to 2 inches over the tops of those jars. And it's not going to have a very long processing time. Close this thing up. Again, we're only water bath canning or boil water canning, so we don't need the regulator. Have I said that already? It's important. Don't put the regulator on there. And then once the jars are in, it says fill jars. Once the jars are filled, there it goes. Folks, this will take you through the rest of the thing. You can go clean your kitchen. You can go do whatever you want to. So after about 25 minutes of running, it beeped a few times, and the timer has started to count down because it is actually doing the canning right now. It's boiled water canning. No pressure, just boiled water. And see, there it goes to 8 minutes. 10 minutes, it will be done with the canning process, and then it will start allowing it to cool. Once it's cool, you can open them up, set them out on a rack to dry, and we'll be doing that here shortly. So right at half an hour later, the pressure canner, well, the water bath canner in this case, is done with its job. We have 9 jars of completed pint jars in there, ready to go, ready to come out, and we're going to take those out. Now, in the meantime, I was able to get all the dishes cleaned, the kitchen cleaned up, the everything else straightened up, and the blueberries put in frozen bag, and you know, I did a bunch of stuff because I like to get everything clean for when Mrs. Bowtie comes home. But we're about to open this up and listen for the plinking cans. So I'll put you over here on the side where I'm going to be putting the cans. Yes, the popping sound that you're going to hear, or I hope you're going to hear, is the thing that tells you the seals are good. And it's not the only way to tell. We'll be able to test it later for a good seal as well. But this is going to be the first test, is the popping lid. Now, be careful to keep these things level, folks. I used to dump that little bit of water off the top there, and I heard a very compelling argument that if the contents are still boiling in there, okay? They are still going. And if that I can't grab this next one. If that boiling gets in contact with the seal of the lid, it can cause the lid to fail. So I don't tip those at all anymore, the way I'm not supposed to. I know I wasn't supposed to in the first place, but I was a rebel. Did you hear that? I was a rebel and I was trying to do it my way. And there's nothing wrong with doing it the way, oh, good Lord, I am just making a mess over here. There's nothing wrong with doing it the right way. So these are the other lids. They have not sealed yet. That ball lid was, well, actually, I can't tell. This one, there it goes. That one just popped. I just saw it. That one just popped. You can actually see the shape pop in when they seal like that. Oh, there went another one. This one just popped. That one still has not popped. Being quiet so we can hear them pop. I love hearing the pops. It tells me we did good. I am a little concerned about that. Oh, it popped. It was about to pop. I felt it go just as I touched it. Not supposed to do that either, but oh well. Like I said, I already admitted I'm a little impatient. That one popped. It didn't make the loud sound. These two, the only two that haven't popped yet. So anyway, let's wrap this video up because these are good. Subscribe for the taste test. Don't miss it. So there we go. Another project down with the Presto Precise digital pressure canner. I do like this thing. A couple of reasons why I like this canner. First off, I like that it just takes off and does its thing. Number one, it warmed the jars for me. I didn't have to deal with it. It kept them warm until I was ready. We sat over there and boiled our jam for, I don't know, what was that, 40 minutes that we ended up doing that? And it just sat there with this ready to go. The other thing is, once it started going through its cycle of water bath canning, I put all the jars in there, I push the button, I go clean the rest of the kitchen up, I pick everything up, I get ready for whatever I'm doing next. And so it's very self-contained, it does it, it's done, that's it. And I do enjoy that. So if you have any experience with this that you've enjoyed, or if you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. I love hearing your comments. I've said that once or twice in this video, I know, but I do like going through and following the questions and talking to people and find out what you're doing, what you're finding out, because, you know, so I learn stuff that way. I learn, and that's very important to me. So thank you for following along today. For those of you who have subscribed to Bowtie Life on YouTube, you are my heroes, and you've made Bowtie Life what it is today. We are working on getting the channel to the next level. Well, once we can get there, we'll be able to do so much more, and that excites me. For those of you just finding Bowtie Life, or maybe you've watched a couple of my videos, this is my own personal journal. You may have already heard me say that. It really is. I look back at these videos all the time, and everything going on with the garden, with the preserving, and everything else that happens with this. And with my ADD brain, I've tried journaling, I've tried doing the photos, I've tried doing the app, and it just doesn't, either it doesn't fit what I'm doing, or it just doesn't keep my brain focused well enough. And these videos, I say this frequently in the mornings when I'm getting ready, so many times I'll have the videos playing in the background. In fact, you'll notice that we have a lot of playlists, tons of playlists. I have all the 2024 videos in a playlist, and you can play that playlist and tell it to shuffle it, and it'll kind of go through and play random videos in that playlist. Well, that's what I do, and something pops up and it reminds me of something I hadn't done, and I'll stop what I'm doing and I'll just go out to the garden and do it. A lot of times it's a 5-minute job or less. Most of the time it's a 5-minute job or less. In fact, what was it just this morning? I had not checked on the Thai yard-long beans. I wanted to make sure that they were actually finding the trellis, and I was watching something like, oh yeah, pause, go check it. I was back before the screensaver even kicked on. They're finding the trellis, so I'm very happy with that. Yeah, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a thing on that happens on Bowtie Life on YouTube. I know I over-document everything, that's why, but you are welcome to join along. Subscribing doesn't cost you anything, it doesn't ask for any information. It's just to subscribe on there, and it will let you know when we come out with new videos, like when the taste test comes up, because I'll do a taste test. I don't know if it'll be a short or a regular video. Probably be a regular video. Another way you can help grow the channel is to click the thumbs up on this video. It seems like a little thing, but it shows that Google shows the algorithm that it was content worth watching. And share it on your social media. You can share it on Facebook or X or WhatsApp, and with friends that might be interested in making unique flavors that you just simply can't find anywhere else. I've never seen this ginger loquat jam anywhere, and I love it. I could eat this all day. That's just that good. So, another video down. Y'all have a blessed day.